Sergio Pérez has made one of the most explosive statements of the entire 2025 season. The Mexican driver asserted that neither Lewis Hamilton nor Charles Leclerc could survive at Red Bull as Max Verstappen's teammates. This statement has ignited the paddock and reopened a debate that seemed to have been settled. Is the second Red Bull seat an impossible trap, even for the best in the world? Stay tuned until the end, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. During the Mexican Grand Prix, Sergio Pérez ignited a veritable storm in the paddock by uttering one of the strongest statements of the entire season. No driver can survive at Red Bull as Max Verstappen's teammate. He said it bluntly, with the conviction of someone who has personally experienced what it means to face the most demanding, closed, and structurally single-driver-oriented system. In that interview with Sky Sports F1, the Mexican not only revealed frustration, but also a technical and psychological reality that few dare to acknowledge publicly. These statements carried weight because they didn't come from a rookie driver or someone unfamiliar with success. Pérez was a key figure in Red Bull's golden era, helping them win constructors' titles and supporting Verstappen in crucial moments, such as the historic title defense in Abu Dhabi in 2021. However, upon leaving the team after 4 years of internal tensions, he decided to speak openly about what goes on behind the Dutchman's impeccable performance. The idea that Hamilton or Leclerc, two absolute benchmarks of talent and consistency, couldn't survive within Red Bull exposed a debate that had been hidden for years. Is the car so dominant because of its engineering or because it's designed exclusively for a single driver? The value of Pérez's words lies in his inside knowledge of the team. He didn't speak from resentment, but from the experience of someone who understood how an organization designed to support exceptional talent behaves, even at the expense of sporting balance. Pérez described his departure as a relief. The minute I signed my release, I thought, woe to whoever comes here. The so-called second seat at Red Bull has become one of the biggest enigmas in modern Formula One. Since Daniel Ricciardo's departure in 2018, no driver has managed to establish himself alongside Max Verstappen. Pierre Gasly was the first to fall, demoted mid-season after just 12 races due to poor performance that exposed him to intense media pressure. Then came Alex Albon, who, despite his natural talent and composure, also couldn't withstand the impact of an extremely demanding car, ultimately being relegated to a reserve role in 2021. Both cases highlighted a troubling pattern. The seat that should be a golden opportunity becomes, in a matter of months, a turning point for any driver's career. When Red Bull opted for Sergio Pérez in 2021, many believed that the Mexican's experience and composure would break the curse. And for a time it seemed to. He won races, stood on the podium, and was key to Verstappen's first title. However, as the seasons progressed, the gap widened considerably. In 2024, Pérez finished 8th in the championship, with 152 points compared to Verstappen's 437. He only outqualified him 10 times in 90 Grands Prix. These figures not only reflect the Dutchman's dominance, but also the inherent difficulty that car presents for anyone who doesn't drive exactly like him. Neither experience nor talent seems sufficient when the machine is designed with a single objective: to enhance a specific driver, leaving the other in a constant struggle against the car's inherent limitations. Red Bull's subsequent attempt to replace Pérez confirmed the magnitude of the problem. Neither Liam Lawson nor Yuki Tsunoda managed to adapt, accumulating errors, a lack of confidence, and mediocre results. It's no longer about who has more speed, but about who can endure longer in an environment where the car, strategy, and communication are all synchronized to serve a single driver. At the heart of this problem lies a technical factor that few can master: Max Verstappen's driving style. His driving style is so unique that it demands a type of car only he can control. Verstappen combines early braking with aggressive corner entry and violent mid-corner rotation, a technique that requires an extremely firm front end and a rear end that is unstable but predictable in its reactions. This approach allows him to anticipate every movement of the car and use oversteer as a rotational tool, something most drivers consider a threat rather than an advantage. For him, this extreme setup is a natural extension of his style, while for the rest of the field it is a nearly impossible challenge to sustain lap after lap. The RB21, designed by Pierre Wache after Adrian Newey's departure, takes this philosophy to its most radical extreme. Red Bull built a car that prioritizes precision and aggression at the front axle, sacrificing overall stability to gain cornering speed. This setup creates a very narrow operating window. If the driver fails to maintain the perfect balance between braking, acceleration, and steering, the car becomes unpredictable and difficult to control. Verstappen is able to maintain this technical finesse even under pressure, but for the others, the car becomes a trap that punishes any mistake with a loss of pace or even off-track excursions. The engineers have acknowledged that this behavior isn't suited to everyone, but at Red Bull, the priority has always been to extract maximum performance from their star driver, even if it means making life difficult for the driver in the second seat. Being part of Red Bull Racing undoubtedly represents one of the greatest privileges in Formula One. The team boasts a technical, financial, and logistical level that places it above the rest of the paddock. Its resources seem inexhaustible: state-of-the-art wind tunnels, advanced simulators, a budget exceeding $300 million, and a group of engineers capable of pushing any aerodynamic concept to its limits. Furthermore, the team offers its drivers the opportunity to consistently compete for podiums, pole positions, and victories. For any driver, wearing the Red Bull suit means having access to the fastest car on the grid. Any deviation in results, any weak qualifying performance, or any race without points fuels replacement rumors. Pérez experienced this environment for 4 years, with weekly headlines placing him on the verge of leaving even while he still had a valid contract. The second major cost is related to the car's technical development. Multiple sources within the paddock have indicated that the most significant upgrades always arrive first on the number one car. Small differences in aerodynamic specifications, suspensions, or floors may seem insignificant, but in Formula One, they represent valuable tenths of a second. Pérez even publicly suggested that his car wasn't identical to Verstappen's, while the driver's own father, Antonio Pérez Garibay, stated that Max's car and Checo's car weren't the same. Although Red Bull has denied it, performance data and qualifying times showed patterns that reinforce that suspicion. In a team where every detail counts, this feeling of technical inequality ends up affecting any driver's confidence, generating frustration and helplessness in the face of a structure that never finds balance. Ultimately, the highest price a driver pays at Red Bull is emotional. The combination of pressure, constant comparison, and a feeling of technical inferiority ends up eroding mental stability. Gasly, Albon, Pérez, and more recently Tsunoda have all acknowledged the psychological impact of living under the same roof as Verstappen. They all entered with ambition and left with their confidence shattered. The big question following Sergio Pérez's comments is whether Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc would also struggle at Red Bull. At first glance, it might seem like an exaggeration, but current Formula One evidence suggests Pérez could be right. Since joining Ferrari in 2015, Hamilton has experienced an extremely difficult adaptation to the SF25, a car that shares several characteristics with Verstappen's RB21. It's an unstable car with a twitchy rear end and unpredictable handling in medium and high-speed corners. By mid-season, the Briton had been significantly outpaced by Leclerc in both qualifying and the race, and what's most worrying is that he still hasn't found his rhythm with the machine. In his own words, driving that Ferrari feels alien, revealing just how much his deep, late-breaking style clashes with the car's inherent nature. If a 7-time world champion, with all his experience and adaptability, cannot master a car of this type, it is logical to think that he would face even more difficulties in the extreme environment of Red Bull. Charles Leclerc, for his part, finds the car better suited to his driving style, though he has acknowledged that the SF25 has significant shortcomings in stability and traction. Throughout the year, the Monégasque driver has made it clear that the team took the wrong development path, especially in the second half of the season. Interestingly, Leclerc thrives when the car is tailored to his preferences, something Ferrari tries to maintain. But at Red Bull, that flexibility simply doesn't exist. There, the absolute priority is maintaining a car perfectly suited to Verstappen, and any attempt at a change that would benefit the second driver is considered an unnecessary risk. Therefore, even a driver as technically skilled and aggressive as Leclerc would be doomed to struggle with a car that doesn't respond as he needs it to. The cases of Hamilton and Leclerc reinforce Perez's central argument. The problem with Red Bull's second seat isn't a matter of talent but of structure. The examples of both drivers demonstrate that even the greatest can be limited when the car doesn't suit their natural style. Hamilton needs a stable rear end that allows him to brake late and rely on traction on corner exit. Verstappen, on the other hand, demands a car that slides and turns with controlled oversteer. They are completely opposite philosophies. Leclerc also has a marked preference for cars with a lot of front downforce, but the margin for error at Red Bull is so small that even his talent would be compromised. The team prioritizes maximizing individual success over building a balanced structure, and this strategy, while effective in the short term, comes at a clear human and sporting cost. Drivers who occupy that seat end up with damaged reputations, shattered confidence, and careers in need of rebuilding. Red Bull has built an empire around Max Verstappen, but it has done so by sacrificing stability and competitive fairness. The final question remains: is it worth winning so much if the price is losing everything within the team itself? Leave your answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.